Hi again, everybody. Okay, welcome to another episode of Targeting the Youth, and we're going to talk about one of our kids on the team. And today, we are talking about Peterka. Now, let's take a look at this young man because he seems to be the real deal. Now, let's look at some of his numbers, and we'll try to break down what we each see here. Now, one thing that stands out for me, that stood out for me and still stands out for me is how he managed to play hockey during the pandemic. He found ways to not be at home doing nothing. He found ways to play hockey. So he was always getting, if you take a look, he's competing. So he kept himself busy during the pandemic. He played enough games to stay in game shape, and it's paid off. Now he's a Buffalo Sabre. Okay, so I guess the numbers we will really concentrate on would be the Rochester numbers of last year. 70 games played, 28 goals, 40 assists for a really solid season of 68 points. And in the playoffs, he showed up, 10 games, 7 goals, 5 assists for 12 points in that department. And of course, he's only played, guys, a handful of games in the NHL. 4 games, he has a goal and an assist. Now, I will throw you some words of wisdom from elite prospects. Here it is. His unrelenting motor is a force multiplier in every zone. He's hard on every puck. He's an eager, willing combatant in board battles. He's violent, disruptive, a real pain in the ass. He'll make second and third efforts where other players generally relent. He's rarely, if ever, stationary, constantly scanning the ice when the puck isn't on his stick. He has been absolutely impressive so far. I know it's a small body of work, but, I think he could have made the team last year, guys. He could have made the team last year, and we just want to make sure we're developing these kids properly, that we're not rushing them in. And as much as it's frustrating for us fans, we got to respect that, because Adams isn't worrying about this year. He's worrying about 4 years from now. What are we going to be in 4 years from now is what he's looking at. And that's the vision of a general manager that's looking at building a championship, not just giving us instant gratification with a team that can be a little more exciting now, but at the cost of the future. So he's going to do that. He's going to continue to do that, and he should continue to do that no matter how we feel. Really doesn't matter how we feel. It's what he does that's important. So I think this kid is developed properly. I'm glad now he got that year in the AHL. And I was one of those fans, just like last year, Charlie. I'm mentioning Charlie here, that I wanted Peterka on the team last year. But it's good we put him down there and let him get that confidence. Let him just come into the NHL with a head of steam. I mean, his goal in that game got us right back into it, psychologically, if you notice. He scored at the right time of that game. I'm impressed with him so far. I am. He's going to be a top 6 player. We know this. He will be. And I don't know how he went that far in the draft, how this kid dropped that far in the draft. I could see why Adams went after him and gave up a bit more just to get him in that second round. I'm surprised he fell that far in the draft now that I see what he's becoming. But, not every GM had their eyes on him. It's just the way it is, Adams obviously had him zoned in on his radar and got him. You've seen in that embedded episode how happy he was to get him, too. So I think, guys, we got a stud here. We got another guy. It's really another first rounder. I don't know why. It just feels like it's another first rounder. It's another first rounder on this team. But I guess under the radar, this kid, he looks like he'll be big part of our future, I think. I don't think it's going to be he'll play a few years and we'll trade him off or anything like that. I can't see it happening. I think he's a keeper. We've got some real keepers on this team, and we've got some where we're not too sure. We're just not too sure yet. I'm not too sure on Bryson. I'm not too sure on Middlestat. There's guys I'm not sure on. I'm not too sure on UPL. There's guys I'm not sure on yet, or just doesn't feel like I'm sure yet. I mean, they could all be part of the future, but you know, of course, as a team moves on and develops, changes happen. Players get traded no matter what. And we will be trading some of these young names. Some of them won't be here when we win the Stanley Cup one day. They won't be here. Some of them. Not all, but some. But I can picture this kid being part of the Stanley Cup team. Yeah. JJ Peterka, for me, folks, is a Stanley Cup piece. I know it's too early to say that, but I just believe he is. I believe JJ Peterka will be here when we win the Stanley Cup. He'll be part of that team. He'll be a top 6 player. And even if he's not, okay, and if he's top 9, that just means, guys, that we have like 4 good lines. That's all that means. It doesn't mean that he's not a top 6 player. He's just not on this team because we're too stacked. You know, but I could see him being a top 6 player. And if we can get it done properly and develop these kids properly, I would say this year, this is just my thinking, if we can get it done the right way, I would like to see him have some top 6 minutes this year, okay? It's the only way to really know with him and Quinn what they can do under some pressure against some really good players. So we're going to have to sacrifice mistakes out there. We're going to have to sacrifice goals against by doing things like this and not get upset that Adams has done it. Granato has done this. We can't get upset when Granato's having the confidence of these young kids and giving them top 6 minutes. We just can't. We have to be ready as fans to accept that, okay, there might be consequence, but what will this do for these kids in the future? Getting this experience in now, right? This is the thing. So we're going to have to be patient, guys. This is going to be another year of growth, you know. I don't want to harp on the be patient thing, but my goodness, we're going to have to be, I think. We're going to have to just stay calm, relax, and let the plan unfold once again. And I do anticipate we're going to see guys like Peterka, Quinn, and even Owen Power on the top pair also. We're going to see that. And yes, there are going to be mistakes. And you've seen already where Owen Power's, you know, he's made a few errors here and there, but nothing that we can't live with if it's for the benefit of the team in the long run. And the player, of course. You know, if this is all going to benefit us in the future, we got to be patient. Just relax, you know. Just my thoughts, guys. But yes, Peterka's a keeper, without a doubt. All right, folks. See you in the next one.